Today is the 5th March 2024, Tuesday class. So we will be continuing our sharing from this book, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Sutra. We are at page 529. Let us compose our mind, develop the faith, Saddha, Virya. Then mindfully we shall commence the Puja chanting. Namo 本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无本师释迦牟尼佛，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无观世音菩萨，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无弥勒佛。弥勒佛，南无弥勒佛，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无普贤菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨，南无地藏王菩萨。阿拉汉萨玛萨布多巴嘎哇。Buddhaṃ Bhagavaṃ Abhivādemi Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sanghang namami. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi, Dhammang saranang gacchāmi, Sanghang saranang gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchāmi, Dutiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Buddhaṃ saranang gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Dhammang saranang gacchāmi, Tatiyampi Sanghang saranang gacchāmi. Panatipata viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Adinadana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Kamesu miccācara viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Musavada viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Surameraya majapamadatthana viramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami. Turn to page 3 of the chanting book. We shall continue our puja chanting from Padipa Puja onwards. Ganna sarappaditena ditena tamadangsina tiloka dipang sambuddhang pujayami tamonudang ganda sambara yutena dopena hang sugang hina pujaye pujaniyang tang Puja bhajana muttamam Vanna ganda guno petang Etang kesuma santatin Pujayami monindasa Siri pada sarorohe Puje me budang kasumena mena Punnena matena cha hotu mokhang Pupang nilayati yata idang me Kayo tata yati vinasa bhavang Adivase tu no bante Paniyang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu mutamang Adivase tu no bante Pale parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu mutamang Adivase tu no bante Bojanang parikapitang Anukampang upadaya Patigan hatu mutamang. Now we shall chant the Puja aspiration based on our understanding of the significance of all these Puja offerings. Significance of offering of light. May this offering of light to the Buddha brings forth the causes and conditions to illuminate our mind and help arise the needed clarity and understanding to dispel all darkness or ignorance therein. Significance of offering of water. May this offering of pure, clear, cool water lead us to the pure, clear Dhamma that cools and doses out the fires of all defilements within our mind. Significance of offering of incense. May our morality, virtue, and understanding shine forth far and wide, just like the fragrance of this incense, which we are offering to the Blessed One, who is perfect in wisdom and virtue. Significance of offering of fruits. May this offering of fruits remind us of the Dana Parami or generosity, and the fruit of our karma, so that we will diligently strive on with heedfulness to attain the path and fruition soon as possible. Significance of offering of flowers. May this constant offering of flowers to the Blessed One strengthen our faith and constantly remind us of the impermanence of this body, so that we will diligently and sincerely strive on to cultivate Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, leading to ultimate liberation, the born-free Nibbana. Making of overall aspiration. By the power of all these merits born of these offerings, may our spiritual faculties of Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, and Panya be further strengthened until they become balas or powers. Sharing and transfer merits to all beings. May these merits be shared and transferred to all beings without exception, especially to those who have the condition and ability to receive them. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, let us pay respect to Puja. Padang Puja. Dhammang Puja. Sanghang Puja. Awareness-based meditation is to enable us to develop the inner awareness nature. So what you need to do is completely silence your mind. No more thinking, no more thought process, just silent. Then maintain awareness. Before you maintain awareness, you should learn how to relax body and mind. So relaxation is the first support to develop good awareness-based mindfulness meditation. Ability to relax means our body and mind is at ease. When you are at ease, there is no stress, no tension, no more problem. That's why it does not disturb you. When you are in that state, body and mind will harmonize and become naturally quiet and peaceful. So relaxation to realize this harmony is very important. When you got problem troubling you, especially at the mind level, it can be any of the First Noble Truth reality that is haunting you or disturbing you. Then your mind has no peace. You cannot relax. Relax means let things be. Whatever happened, causes and conditions already there. It is just the way it is. So acceptance is wisdom. The wisdom to accept the reality, free our mind. Then we tell ourselves we are here to meditate, to develop the inner awareness, to meditate and develop the understanding. So what we need to do is we have to develop the support for us to actually progress, to develop this awareness nature within. So the first three of the four support is very important. Relax body and mind, then maintain awareness. So to do that, you must silence your mind. Don't try to know, don't try to do, don't try to think. Just let things be. When you don't try to know, don't try to do, and just let things be, there is no thought involved. Everything is just the way it is. That's why you can be in a state of relaxed inner awareness. So the first two support will bring about the settling down of the mundane thinking mind. Just let it settle. For new people, it may take longer. For those who have already trained, it settles down very fast. And the moment it settles down, you will realize your true mind, the silent mind. That is your original true mind, which is just aware before the rising of thought. But the thought process is very near that nature, because the thought arises from that nature. Actually, thought is response to memory, but the consciousness that we are having, they arise from the pure awareness nature. The pure awareness nature is the one that provides the consciousness for the content to go in and become a thought. That's how our mundane mind come to be. To meditate is to realize this awareness nature, stabilize it. Then from there, use it to observe, to see clearly how the mundane mind arises, how we create thought, and how through memory we retrieve all of our knowledge, views, opinion, conditioning, belief system, our habitual tendency, our phobia, and whatever. Then from there, we act. That's how we create wrong thought, sakkaya-ditthi, self-delusion, that condition us to become what we are. Ability to have this inner awareness, to observe and see all this and understand clearly who you are, what you are, and how your mind state react and stir in a very habitual fashion. All this is meditation, but you must have the inner awareness, the stability of it. So repeat 4 support. The first 3, relax body and mind, maintain awareness. Don't try to know, don't try to do anything. Let the awareness settle down. Whatever arises, aware, finish. Aware, finish means no thinking, no proliferation. Don't want to know. Don't want to let it continue with the thinking. No need to perceive also, just aware. Whatever that arises at the senses upon contact, aware, finish. Aware, finish. Then this will decondition your heedless thinking, your habitual momentum of stirring the mind, reacting to what you experience through your senses. So when you can develop that, then the third support will arise. The third support is to stabilize the inner awareness until it becomes very stable, very clear, until you can stay there for a long period of time. And most of the time you are just aware, until finally the awareness also becomes very quiet, very still. Then suddenly you will come to realize that there is no more thought activity, no more sankhara activity, nothing. The whole thing becomes very quiet, very still, tranquil. And that is your true mind. That is what you need to realize to begin your awareness-based meditation. Then you will come to know, without thought, who are you? What are you? Then how did thought arise? How from that nature, the pure awareness create thought? Through our memory, through our conditioning, belief system, everything. Then how you can observe and see clearly the aggregates of mind? How upon contact, feeling arise? Then how feeling, condition, craving, the like and dislike, pleasant, unpleasant movement. Then how all these are actually derived through your views, opinion, conditioning, habitual tendency, and belief system. Then from there, you develop the clear understanding of how you function as a human being, how you know the world, how you interact with the world. Then through all this knowledge or understanding, you come to know clearly what this form of mind is all about. Then who are you? What are you? Become clear. All this point towards self-knowledge via the silent mind observing without thought, without any prejudice or interference from the memory. So the silent observation of what is meditation. The silent mind that observes is sati, observing. So sati will see things as they are, develop the wisdom and understanding. Then it can also insight into phenomena and awaken. That's how wisdom comes to be. So relax, maintain awareness, stabilize the awareness. Just do this until the inner awareness becomes very stable, very clear, until all your thinking slow down, then become very quiet and suddenly enter stillness. When you realize that that is your true mind, before the arising of thought, before the arising of sankhara activity, before the noise inside there, before the verbalization, the chattering, the thought process. Seeing this is very important. Understanding all this is very important, because the egoic mind, which is basically thought giving rise to knowledge, is very near that nature. So that egoic mind or the mundane mind is egoic. It thinks a lot. It has its own egoic nature that actually delude living being. Before you have the wisdom born of Dhamma understanding, this mundane mind create havoc, condition you into negativity, and there is a lot of scarcity behind that give rise to the evil roots of greed, hatred, and delusion that condition our negativity of mind. The mental intention, the trigger of the evil roots of greed, hatred and delusion because of the ego, the personality, the atta within. Okay, so with this, maybe I can let you meditate on your own. Then for those who already know how to develop the first three support and stabilize your inner awareness, you just silence everything and stay at the heart. Stay at the heart. Then whatever you can detect, any vibration or your heartbeat, stay there. Mindful, aware. Let the awareness and the movement move as one until it becomes very quiet, very still. Ultimately, your mind will enter sati. You will realize the true mind. Then during that time, you just let things be. Then that nature, the fourth support, arise. Trust. Trust that nature to move, to detect and do all the transformation that follows. You have to initially let it detect the gateway to our nature. Once the gateway has been detected, you will progress. Your yin-yang external energy, they will melt inside and develop the movement and become pure energy as they enter your nature. And that is the one that actually transforms your inner nature. Then if you can do that well, you will progress. Okay, you all can slowly, mindfully come out of the meditation. Try to maintain whatever inner peace, inner calmness, and inner awareness that you have developed. Then try to stay at the heart area. Maintain awareness there throughout the day. Whatever you do, aware. That is to develop the stability of daily mindfulness, leading to heedfulness. Invocation to the Devas. In this universe, in the entirety, let the deities come here. Let them hear the good teaching of the King of Sages, which gives heaven and release, Nibbana. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. This is the time to listen to the teaching. Samanta Chakawalisu Atra Gachantu Devata Saddhamang Muni Rajasa Sunantu Sakemokadang Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Dhamma Sharing Kalo Ayang Badanta Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti peso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vijacarana sampanno sugato lokavido Anuttaro purisa dhammasarati satta deva manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipasiko Opanaiko Pajatang Veditato Venohiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ujupatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yami Atipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Sami Cipatipano Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Yadidang Chatari Purisa Yogani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sāvaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaneyo Anutarang Punyang Ketang Lokasati Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu. Okay, you all can be seated and we will continue from where we stopped. We are at page 529. Okay. We are at the Sutta part. So we are continuing our Dhamma Sharing for Tuesday class. Is sharing from this, the wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutra, or in Mandarin is 妙法蓮華經. We are at volume 4, chapter 3, of Master Hsuan's commentaries. The title is A Parables. Okay, so now I will read on. But now, at last, I better read from this book. I think the sutta part should be the same. Okay. But now, at last, I realize it is not real extinction. For when I become a Buddha, complete with 32 marks or hallmarks, revered by gods, human, and even yasha, hordes, dragons, spirits, and others, only then will I be able to say this is eternal extinction without residue. The Buddha in the Great Assembly has said, I shall become a Buddha. Hearing such a Dhamma sound, all my doubt has been dispelled. Okay, then we go to the outline. Conclusion, conclusion itself, and conclusion proper. Then we go to the commentaries. But now at last, the sutta say, I realize, means Sariputta said, before I thought I had gained extinction, means enlightenment, cessation of form and mind, the realization of Nibbana. Who would have guessed that it was nothing but transformation city? So here there is a note. Transformation city and the treasure trove are discussed in chapter 7. Oh, this one is another book. So anyway, what they meant about transformation city is the Nibbana realized by the sainthood way cultivator according to the Buddha or a lot of Mahayana Sutta. That Nibbana that they realize is just for enlightenment that the sainthood way realize, even up to Arahantaship. The first stage of sainthood, Sotapan. Second stage of sainthood, Sakadagami. Third stage of sainthood, Anagami. Then finally, Arahantaship or Arahant, where you may totally root out the 10 fetters that bind living beings to this samsara, but that realization only free the beings from future rebirth due to ignorance. Means whatever segmented life that take the rebirth via karma, that one no more. Means no more future rebirth, no more rebirth via ignorance, to come back to becoming, to be born again. So that one is the initial stage of realization of Nibbana. But basically Nibbana cessation, the process is quite similar. Initially the sainthood way, you have a glimpse of it. Then later on, when you realize Anagami and Arhantaship, the cessation may last longer depending on the individual and the causes and conditions. Normally, for the sainthood way, the longest is supposed to be 7 weeks. Then after that, the consciousness that's supposed to continue will come out of the cessation. Then they will gain back their conscious life and become a form and mind again. So under this type of realization, the Buddha, during that initial teaching, they call it the preliminary teaching of the Dhamma, or what we call the first 2 vehicles. The sainthood way, where they teach them they call it the sound hearer. Means those who listen to the sound of the preaching of the Four Noble Truths and they awaken to it, they become sound hearer. Means sainthood way enlightenment. Then there is another type of sainthood way enlightenment where there may not be sasana. Then the cultivator of the way can also realize enlightenment, but they call it the Pajika Buddhas, the silent Buddha. And these are not really Sammasambuddha. They don't have the Four Noble Truths, but they realize it through realizing the 12 links, Paticca Samuppada, and through that they awaken. Then they also go through cessation, realize Nibbana. But this type of Nibbana, like what Sariputta came to realize, he said, this is not the ultimate, or he used the word real extinction. Why do they call Nibbana extinction? Actually, the English word is not really the accurate. It's actually cessation. Cessation of form and mind. But they translate it using this word because at that time I think the English translation was not good. So they prefer the word cessation. But if you are familiar with the Mahayana terminology, they normally call it 苦寂灭道. So 灭 means cessation. Everything ceases. Even the pure awareness also no more. And that is Nibbana. Means the unconditioned, no more mind. And you cannot talk about it. That one can only arise through wisdom. When your wisdom has completely transcend at least the first, second and third fetters, then you can realize a glimpse to realize the first stage of sainthood. Then the fourth and fifth fetters you can accentuate it, you will realize the second stage of sainthood, both path and friction. Then after that, there are two more factors. The fourth and fifth, you have to not only accentuate it, root it out. When you are able to completely root it out, means all the first five factors rooted out, you realize the third stage of sainthood, anagami. But to realize arahantship, you have to root out the 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 factors. And they are attachment to form jhana, attachment to formless jhana. Then the 8th one is restlessness of mind. The 9th one is minor conceit, followed by the final one, which is avijja, ignorance itself. So once these 5 last factors has been rooted out, you realize arahantship, then you enter cessation for longer period. Then that enlightenment or awakening is for the sainthood way already complete, finished. We have no more rebirth through the ignorant process, means no more coming back as a form and mind under the segmented body rebirth process. All this end. But Sariputta realized this is just the sainthood way. And for those who have gone through the Bodhisattva way, especially the Sammasambuddha, that's why Sariputta says, for when I became a Buddha, complete with the 32 marks, this one is by Sakyamuni, revered by God, human, and the Yasha hordes, dragons, spirits, and others. Only then will I be able to say, this is eternal cessation, although here the book still use extinction, without residue. Then the Buddha in the Great Assembly had said, I shall become a Buddha, means Sariputta. Hearing such a Dhamma sound, all my doubt has been dispelled. So here, the Nibbana that the sainthood way realize, the Mahayana call it the transformation city. This transformation city is like our society. Let's say you realize the real ultimate Nibbana. It's like you have been to that city, understand or not? Maybe it could be Beijing, Shanghai, or New York, or what. You see the actual city. But the transformation city means it's transform outward, not the real one. So they use that as a what they call analogy. That's why that type of enlightenment, they say, is with outflow. Although they have ceased the process of birth and death, ignorant, the 10 factors all root out. But those who do the sainthood way, they didn't do the supreme vehicle cultivation to realize the awareness nature within and develop the training to transform it further until you fully complete the training to become Sammasambuddha. And that process takes a long time. So that one is complete transformation without residue. Without residue means no more outflow. What is the outflow that they are talking about? Here the outflow means even you become Arahant because you don't realize that nature, detect the gateway and continue with the cultivation. Your mundane mind, which is the thought process, has not collapse. As long as the mundane mind does not collapse, the mundane mind continue to manifest thinking. So they say the outflow of thought is still there. And thought, as you know, is moment to moment. So the outflow of thought, what does it mean? Moment to moment, there is still this birth and death. That's why the outflow of thought still has rebirth. Birth and death of the thought. At that one, they haven't ceased. So because of that, a lot of understanding that they're supposed to develop through the Supreme Vehicle, they never get to develop it. And their wisdom is actually limited to enable them to sever the 10 fetters and liberate their own form and mind and develop the enlightenment to cease. That's all. But there is still outflow of thought when they are still alive. That's why that one they call it the transformation city, like the real city. But actually you have a look at it, you think that is the ultimate. But it's a transformation city, not the real one, without outflow. So this is how they explain it. Okay, then we continue. The position I previously attained was merely certification to the principle of one-sided emptiness. According to Hsuan, through this commentary, he said, Sariputta realized that the position I previously attained was merely certification to the principle of one-sided emptiness. Then he just had the Mandarin word, but he didn't explain. Never mind, we continue. Means it was not the true real cessation, although here the book used the word extinction. Do you understand what is the difference between extinction and cessation or not? I better explain this, otherwise it becomes confusing. Cessation and extinction. So initially they used this English word because at that time, I think, when Master Hsuan was in the United States, the disciple that helped him to do all this translation, most of them, the English are not so good. But there are Western disciples, especially Americans and even Western disciples that follow Master Hsuan. Their English are very good, but their cultivation is not as good. So there is a problem. So one fellow is cultivation very good. He know what this thing is. It's actually cessation. Everything ceases. Even the pure awareness also no more. But here, because they don't know what this thing is, they thought extinction. What is extinction? Like the dinosaur, extinct already. Means what? You cannot find anymore. Understand? But this one is not a being that become enlightened and become extinct. Understand? This being was never a permanent, unchanging entity. Understand? So how can you say this one extinct? This is not a permanent, unchanging entity. When you realize cessation of form and mind, that is what Nibbana is. This one is Nibbana. To be. So this realization of Nibbana means you develop the understanding, the wisdom, then the mind realizes itself and ceases. You understand? That's why it's cessation. Cessation means 不生不灭, no arising, no ceasing. It's not extinct, no. You went through that cessation, no. That's why this word extinction that they use is wrong. Extinct means no more. It doesn't actually connote the correct understanding. Yeah? So make a note of this. Okay, I will continue to read on. It was not the true real cessation. It was not the true... Here they use the word attainment of nirvana. This one also again, the terminology is not so correct or appropriate in the sense that you cannot attain nibbana. Understand? Nibbana cannot be attained on. It's not a state of mind. Understand? It's a realization. When the mind, the mundane mind, through wisdom realizes itself, then the whole thing ceases. Even the pure awareness nature also ceases. Then how are you going to describe that thing? It's not an attainment. You cannot attain to it. Understand? That's why a lot of people who don't understand, they say, see you in Nibbana. You understand what that is? They think Nibbana is a place where you can meet up with. That's why in the sutta, I remember the Theravada Sutta, the Nagarjuna, I think. Was it Nagarjuna? I believe it was Nagarjuna. I forgot who already. Or Nagasena, I think. Or Nagarjuna, I forgot already. There was a king that asked him a lot of questions. He said, if a lot of people attain Nibbana, wouldn't be it attain until nobody else can go in, like the area full of Arahant already, or full of enlightened being already. So Nibbana, that place, cannot take in anymore. Understand? I remember that one in Nagarjuna or Nagasena, I forgot it. That monk told the king, he said, no, Nibbana cannot be filled up one. No matter how many you realize means you realize one. It's not a place where there is a limit to how many can become enlightened. Not like that. So all these are the understanding that people need to develop. That's why the explanation when you use word is always difficult or limited. So this word attain all along, I actually refuse to use it. I would prefer to use the word like realize Nibbana. It's not a being who realizes, it's the mundane mind that actually realizes itself through the wisdom, then it ceases. So the mundane mind that realizes itself and ceases, leading to the transformation, you can say is a realization. The form and mind realize. Finish. He doesn't attain anything. That's why in the Diamond Sutta it's very clear. You say you are a Sotapan, Sakadagami, Anagami, or an Arahant, then you are never that thing. Because even at the Sotapan level, they know that form and mind is not real, not a permanent, unchanging entity. So you cannot be that thing. But that form and mind that realizes that wisdom, you can give it a name, but it's not you, understand or not? It's not you. It's that form and mind, vehicle and tool, karmically transform out for you to come to this existential one. And this one, through the meditative process, realizes itself and realizes cessation and transform. Then you can say, under worldly term, earthly term, that this person is enlightened. He has realized the first stage of sainthood. But that being that has the realization, know that he is not that form and mind. The form and mind is just a vehicle and a tool for that segmented life, for him to come and develop all this cultivation, go through the karmic process, and fulfill whatever karma or vow that they have to go through. So hopefully with this explanation, you all can get a better understanding. Okay, I will read on. It was not the true attainment of nirvana. Again, they use the word attainment, realization of the absolute nibbana. In the future then, when I become Buddha, complete with the 32 hallmarks of a great being, revered by God, man, and the Yaksha hawk, means honored by gods in the heavens, the humans, and all the other ghosts, or entire eightfold division, means including the Sersan, dragon and spirit, and others. Only then will I be able to say, at that time, I will be able to say, this is eternal cessation, without residue. I have truly attained the cessation and realized Nibbana. Here the English translation, they use enter Nibbana, without residue, as if you can enter Nibbana. Nibbana is not a place, you cannot. That's why the English translation is not so accurate. But I was told by Jin Hao, I think we somehow were lucky. Jin Hao managed to get them to release to us some more updated version. We managed to get 5 volumes, which I think will suit us for the time being. And I will have to go through this particular volume, which is volume 4, chapter 3. I will go through it. I was told there are quite a lot of changes, the later edition, which means they realize that they need to polish up the English translation and also reformat their what you call all the commentaries that Xuanhua has come out with. So I go through, then I let you know how good that thing is, or how much improvement they have done. Definitely it must be something that points towards great improvement. But I have to read through it to find out. Then I will decide whether our next session we will continue with the new, latest translation. And then you can see the whole thing. I can read from the screen. Also save me a lot of work, because now I'm reading from the book. that book where the writing is very small. So I have to maybe continue this session, then we see how it goes. So make a note of those things. So cessation, eternal cessation without residue. Then not enter Nibbana, realize Nibbana. The Buddha in this great assembly means presently the Buddha Sakyamuni from amidst the great assembly has said, I shall become a Buddha. This is predicting Sariputta. Finally become a Sammasambuddha. He has conferred a prediction upon me. Such a Dhamma sound. Hearing such a Dhamma sound, all my doubt has been dispelled. Means he has no more doubt. Which means he has already developed the understanding to go the supreme vehicle way, to actually perfect himself and develop the cultivation until ultimate realization of Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, means Sammasambuddhahood. Okay, now we go to the next part of the sutta. When I first heard the Buddha speak, my heart was filled with great fear and doubt. Here the new version, they take away doubt. We are Arahant. How can Arahant have doubt? Actually, fear also shouldn't be there. is the wrong use of word. It's not fear, it's like, how should I explain it to you? Okay. Let's take, for example, you all go through the sainthood way cultivation. Then maybe everyone go through different stages. Some Sotapanna-ship, Sakadagami-ship, then Anagami, and even Arahant. Let's say you finish Arahant. Then assume you never heard from me the Supreme Vehicle teaching. Okay? You only learn the provisional teaching. The word is the provisional teaching, means the Theravada traditions teaching. Okay? After that, you heard from, maybe for this particular case, because the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha who actually taught the preliminary teaching now suddenly teach the Supreme Vehicle teaching. Understand? No? Let's say in the initial year, I have not combined the Theravada with the Mahayana, and I straight away just continue the provisional teaching and deliver the teaching and transform you all and bring about the sainthood way. Then after those period, only I start the Mahayana Supreme Vehicle teaching. How will you react? How will you react? It's definitely not fear. Those who realize arahantship, where got fear? Where got doubt? To me, it's more like, initially, like, there is a shock, understand? Not finished yet? Still got so much thing to cultivate. Still got so much to go through. Then some will ask this type of question, no? Why you don't tell us in the very beginning? If I tell you the cultivation takes so long, you think you want to stay in the class? All would have been gone, understand? Nobody will stay. So that is what is happening. So this word that they use, my heart was filled with great fear, is not the correct word. Understand? It's like, in a way, like, very surprised, very surprised. Maybe a bit of shock. Still got thing, because no more rebirth already. So a lot of people develop the cultivation of the spiritual understanding to realize that enlightenment is to free their mind from suffering, isn't it? Free their mind from suffering means no more rebirth, isn't it? Because rebirth bring about what? Wherever there is birth, there will be old age, sickness and death. Understand not? Together with the whole mass of suffering, conditioned by the First Noble Truth reality. So, what are you trying to tell me? That after I realize that no more rebirth, means no more coming back, no need to suffer anymore, that is what I want. So with that limited understanding of the sainthood way cultivation, they will not be able to comprehend the Supreme Vehicle way. So this word they use with great fear, I think is not appropriate. Maybe with surprise. They will feel with surprise, is a better word. Or in a way, a little bit like shock. Surprise. Is this not Mara disguised as the Buddha? See? The thought dare to question this. No? But the Arahant wouldn't question this. The Arahant will know. Come to disturb and confuse my heart. So this part is narrating the doubt. So we go to the commentaries. When I first heard the Buddha speak, means the Dhamma speak, the Dhamma, my heart was filled with great fear. I thought, is this not a Mara disguised as a Buddha? Has the demon come and turned himself into a Buddha? How else could he be speaking with such strange thing? come to disturb and confuse my heart is to ruin my cultivation of samadhi. Sariputta admit that when he first heard the Buddha speak this wonderful Dhamma, Lotus Flower Sutta, he had some doubt. Actually, the word doubt is too strong. Yeah? He maybe at that time couldn't understand what that teaching is. So it's like, in a way, he was surprised that there are more to it. Yeah. Then we go on to the next part of the sutta. The Buddha, by means of various condition, analogy, and ingenious speech, make one's heart calm as the sea. Hearing him, the net of my doubt was... What is the meaning of this word? How come got ran on? Doubt was ran. What is the meaning of ran here? Huh? Rooted out, I think. Huh? No more. Huh? Yeah. The Buddha said that in the past, the limitless Buddha, now extinct, dwelt calmly in expedience, and also speak the Dhamma, each of them, the Buddha of the past, of the present, and the future. Their numbers without limit. Also use expedient devices and skillful means to proclaim the Dhamma such as this. Just as now, the world-honored one, from birth until his leaving home, he attaining, again they use the word attaining, the way, and turning the Dhamma wheel, also spoke by means of expedient devices or means. The world-honored one speak the real path. The evil one does not speak such thing. Hence I know for certain this is not the demon posing as a Buddha, because I have fallen into the net of doubt. I said it was the doing of a demon. Hearing the Buddha's compliant voice, profound, far-reaching, subtle and fine, proclaiming wide and clear, pure Dhamma, great is the joy within my heart. My doubts are forever ended, as in real wisdom I stand firm. So this part is on narrating his presently been led to the understanding of the Supreme Vehicle teaching. Yeah? Okay. What's the time now? Oh, we still got a bit of time. Okay, I continue a bit more. Commentaries. The Buddha, by means of various conditions or skillful means, meaning Sariputta say, when I first heard the Buddha speak the Dhamma of the Supreme Vehicle, I thought a demon had come, disguised as a Buddha, to disturb my cultivation of samadhi. But the Buddha used all kinds of condition, analogy, and ingenious speech or skillful means, expedient device, to speak the Dhamma to me with his unobstructed eloquence. He made one's heart as calm as the sea. The Buddha's heart was as calm as the sea, and caused my heart to become as calm as the sea. Hearing him, the net of my doubt was rent. Means hearing the Buddha's analogy and clever speech, my doubt vanished. Oh, should be vanished. No more. The Buddha said that in the past, the limitless Buddha, now extinct, dwelt calmly in expedient device or ways. They all were securely established in the application of expedient devices, various Dhamma Dom, in order to teach the Dhamma to living beings, and also spoke this Dhamma. Each of them, meaning they all spoke the wonderful Dhamma, Lotus Flower Sutra. Then the Buddha of the present and the future, their numbers without limit, also were using expedient devices and ways to proclaim the Dhamma such as this. The wonderful Dhamma, which is thus, means suchness. Just as now the world-honored one, from birth till his leaving home, his attaining the way and turning the Dhamma wheel, also spoke by means of expedient devices. Then the Buddha manifested 8 signs of accomplishing the way. This one I think is described in the Mayana Sutta. It's good to actually go through. The 8th sign of accomplishing the way is as follows. They are as follows. The Buddha descended from the Tusita heaven. The Buddha descended from the Tusita heaven to be born in India in Kapilavatthu, in the palace of King Suddhodana. Then he entered the womb. He dwelt in the womb. When the Buddha entered the womb, day and night he spoke the Dhamma for the gods, dragon, ghosts and spirits. He left the womb. He was born in the world. When the Buddha Sakyamuni was born, he pointed one forefinger to the sky and one to the ground and said, "In the heaven and below, I alone am honored." Means he is the fully enlightened one, the honored one, world honored one. Then number 5 is he left the home life when he decided to actually leave the palace to search for the spiritual understanding. Means he's what they call it, renunciation, the great renunciation, when he left the palace. Then he accomplished the way while sitting beneath the Bodhi tree. One night he saw the bright star and awakened to the path. Then number 7, he turned the Dhamma wheel. He spoke Dhamma for all living beings. Then number 8, he realized Parinibbana. Then in the Tiantai teaching, they omit the 3rd, dwelling in the womb, and substitute he defeated Mara as the 5th. So this one is a slight difference between the various schools. He accomplished the way as 6th and so forth. Actually, it amounts to the same thing, because in the great vehicle, supreme vehicle, the defeating of Mara is included within the accomplishing of the way. So the Buddha manifests those 8 signs, which are referred to in the line of text above. Then the world-honored one speak the real path. The Buddha spoke the wonderful Dhamma, Lotus Flower Sutra. Then the Sutta said the evil ones does not speak such thing. This is the true, real wisdom, the doctrine of the real monk. The demon doesn't talk about such thing. Hence, Sariputta said, I know for certain, this is not the demon posing as the Buddha. Why did I think it was the demon acting as the Buddha? It was because I had fallen into the net of doubt. So I didn't believe even the Buddha. I doubted him because I had fallen into a net of doubt. I said it was the doing of a demon. I said the Buddha speak the Dhamma is actually a demon king speaking wildly. Hearing the Buddha's compliant voice, the wonderful sound which is compassionate, kind, joyous, and generous, profound, far-reaching, subtle, and fine, proclaiming wide the clear pure Dhamma. Great is the joy within my heart. I am very happy. My doubts are forever ended, as in real wisdom I stand firm. I now abide securely in real wisdom. So these are the words of Sakyamuni Buddha. Okay, we will stop here. I will mark this page. Maybe I will explain a little bit more of the skillful means or expedient devices. You see, what is recorded under the Theravada Sutta, as you all know, it was only mentioned that the Buddha himself becomes Sammasambuddha after 3 3/4 Asankhya Kapas of cultivation via the wisdom way. Then he received prediction from Dipankara Buddha that he will become a Sammasambuddha in the distant future and other things. So this one were all mentioned, and he cultivated the 10 perfection. But how he do it was never explained in the Theravada Sutta. Okay, where that is the supreme vehicle way. Then later on, it seems if you read through the Theravada Sutta, they have the chronicles that talk a lot about his Jataka story and how the Bodhisattva, before he becomes Sammasambuddha, Sakyamuni, he has to go through a lot of these tests and challenges while cultivating all the perfection. But they didn't go into detail. They were just Jataka story here and there. Then also there were a lot of this, what they call part that how should I explain it? They have a lot of this. You see, when he come and teach, he actually has to speed up the provisional teaching and use a lot of skillful means and lead all the cultivator of the way at that time to realize the sainthood way, like I explained in the early days. Without that, it's just like our present education system. You don't have Form 5 students for our Malaysian education system. You don't have enough Form 5 students or those doing Form 6 or the matriculation before you enter university. Then how can you fill up your university? Understand? That's why the sainthood way is important. He has to teach this part. Then after that, when they are ready, then only he continue with those higher teaching, supreme vehicle teaching, for those who can understand. That's why in the Sutta, Mahayana Sutta, before they commence this Lotus Flower Sutta, there were a lot. I think a total of 5,000 over of them. The sainthood way, they walk up. Yes, to them, they are satisfied with what they have realized. So what is happening is, when the Mahayana Sutta came out, it seems they explained when this higher teaching were taught. One of the sutta in the Mahayana Sutta mentioned when he was preaching to the mother in the, I forgot whether Tusita heaven or Tawatinsa heaven. When the mother take rebirth up there, after 7 days, the mother passed away. Then when Sakyamuni Buddha became a Sammasambuddha, he went up there to teach. And that teaching was not on earth. That's why finally it seems Nagarjuna that has this very good memory and understanding, like Ananda during the Buddha's time. He actually remember all this and bring about all the teaching to earth for the Mahayana Sutta to be made available to the cultivators of the way. So all this have their own means and way of being transmitted. But according to one of my teacher, it seems during the Buddha's time, they were there. It seems. We don't want to mention name and other things. How they learned was, throughout the day the Buddha is very busy. During the daytime he wake up very early, he go for alms round and other things. Then he fulfill his duty. Sometimes he attend invitation for dana and other things. Then he will do the sharing. Then a lot of visitors will line up to try to talk to him and meet up with him. Then at night he may conduct Dhamma session and other things, depending on where he is and whether it's during the Vasa or what. So during the Vasa is different again. Where Vasa, most of the time, they were in the rains retreat. They don't go out and do the teaching and other things. They're supposed to cultivate the monks. So that time, and also the normal non-Vasa time, they can only actually meet up with the Buddha and talk to him when they have condition or they are close to the Buddha, the top 10 disciples and other things. It seems according to this teacher, he said, during the middle of the night, they will visit him. When everybody rests already, sleep already, then they will have session with him. Then after that, they will disperse. Then before the Buddha rests, he only rests 3-4 hours a day only. That's why his body worn out very fast. But during the time when he rests, he really rests. Then when he wake up, he will survey the world. Who has the potential to become enlightened? And then he will go that way to help those people that need his help or assistance to realize the Dhamma and all that thing. So the higher teaching will actually taught to the close disciple. Like I mentioned, if the close disciple of the Buddha also cannot go the Bodhisattva way, then who else can go the Bodhisattva way? Do you understand? So what is described under this 妙法莲华经 or Dhamma flower lotus, Dhamma, wonderful Dhamma, Lotus Flower Sutta, is their format, the Sutta's way of developing it and explaining to you how Sariputta finally embraced the Supreme Vehicle, Dhamma and other things. But I believe this is the teaching that the Buddha taught towards the final years before his parinibbana. So to say that at that birth Sariputta is still not on the Bodhisattva way or path, I don't think is appropriate or correct. According to that teacher who was at that time there, he said a lot of the close disciples, they were all cultivating together with Sakyamuni the Bodhisattva way, except Sakyamuni was the first to realize Sammasammadhamma. Then they all received the prediction. This one I think is authentic, more authentic, because I read the Theravada Sutta, the life history of all the top 10 disciples of the Buddha and also of Sakyamuni. It recorded in the Theravada Sutta. It seems many lives, they were either parents and children or siblings, or cousin and all those things. Then in many of the books, even the top 10 disciples, many of them, they mention in their poems and all those things. Together they were cultivating the Bodhisattva way already. All these things is all mentioned. You must understand the poem to understand what the message is. So anyway, this is just to let you have the added understanding. so that you do not create unnecessary doubt about the sutta. Although the sutta presented it this way, I think there is a intent behind. Because if they don't use Sariputta, the chief disciple of Sakyamuni Buddha, as the one that embraced this, then who else will embrace this Supreme Vehicle teaching? That's why it was, I think, formatted in such a way. Then I don't know what actually happened at that time. But as far as my nature know, the more logical or more probable way is they have been cultivating within long time ago. Then most of them receive prediction already. It cannot be when he spoke this Dhamma Flower Lotus, Wonderful Dhamma Lotus Flower Sutta, then only he give all the prediction and all those things. Maybe this could be true if this sutta has been spoken early on to them when they are with him. Means he don't wait till before his parinibbana to speak this. Means when they consulted him and all those things, when he shared all this in the assembly and all things, maybe during that time they received the prediction and all things. And the best time to receive the prediction is when your fellow cultivator becomes Sammasambuddha. Understand? That is the time you are with him. And the causes and conditions are all there. And most of them will receive prediction. Okay? So we stop there. Okay, now we shall continue our second session, which is meditation reporting, followed by whatever question that you may have regarding the meditation, the today's sharing, the teaching, and also Dhamma in daily life, based on your cultivation experience.
讲一讲我今天早上的经历。
sadhu.
Actually, 其实这个算是家务事，但是我觉得可以拿来做一个discussion
可以。
Bradil actually 我相信 Bradil 也有一点 idea about 我家里的事情是很复杂的。So 在很多年前，我的妈妈跟我就为了我哥哥的事情，我们就有一点点的小误会，他就骂我，骂到我真的有一点点很难受，就 you know 他很难听的话就对了。对。然后我那时候我就很 determined 说，我跟这个人不要有任何的关系。
OK。
就从此以后我就没有再跟他联系。因为他从小就离开我们了。我4岁的时候他就离开我们。然后我就接着 Freddy 一直去encourage 我去找他。但是我就不想有任何的伤心 you know what I mean？我就不想提起这些 you know try to push away。但是今天早上他在很低层那边的整个 manifest 出来。我向他忏悔。因为真的那个好像一个解脱，对我来讲是一个解脱。对。他好像我在观看我怎样的跟他忏悔，然后就很清晰的，好像你在 you know 他好像真的在我的面前，他的整个对整个在我面前，我就是这样子跟他忏悔，然后我就慢慢从那边这样出来，然后我就讲真的这个了了一个结。所以我觉得好像 you know 我所理解的就是每当你想把某一些事情把它藏进去的时候，其实你永远也藏不住的。对，因为他会对，他会一直其实我几乎都忘记这件事情了。然后今天他就 manifest， 我就讲感恩菩萨的guide。 让我把这个缘给 来结了，所以我想分享一下，感恩大家。
Thank you. I add a bit to make it better and clearer. It's just like your Mandarin saying 纸不能够包住那个火you understand? Because all this, whatever scars of memory or phobia that we gone through, or very very impactful type of traumatic type of happening, especially in relationship or whatever. No matter what happened, understand not? You must understand the conditioned Dhamma has its own version of the cause and effect, the karmic and all those things. Whatever misunderstanding that may arise between humanity or human beings, or even between parents, children, siblings, or whatever, all this, if you don't have the Dhamma understanding, which at that time 4 years old, Alicia is still so young, then later on she grew up under such condition and all things. That's why she developed that karmic friction of what she's supposed to go through. But her way is like that. 16 years of depression. Then after that, when it's time to meet the Dhamma, to receive the Dhamma, the teaching, she inherited her past. Then she became beautiful and her life changed, transformed. Then how all this can be unwind and amicably resolved is through Dhamma way understanding. That's why she's silent, then deep inside it will manifest. You remember what I shared with you in the past or not? When you develop repentance or when you forgive somebody, actually you are freeing yourself. You understand? Forgive means what? You no longer hold that hatred, that anger, that like Alicia said, the words that the mother used at that time, because of the misunderstanding over the brother or one, were so harsh. Understand? And that time you don't have the Dhamma, you will hold on to it or not, and you will make that type of determination. You cannot forgive them and all those things. So all this, when it manifests, you will just have to wait till the timing when you have the Dhamma. Then only you can unlock all these things. That's why our yellow card, asking for forgiveness and all this, that one is to unlock all this one. Because I include the last one. Whatever not covered under the first two, you still ask for forgiveness from them all, so that it can be amicably resolved. So this understanding is very important. Asking for forgiveness, repentance. When you do that, you actually free your own mind, the form and mind that go through that process. So it's not about whether the mundane mind that hold on to all these grudges and unhappiness, or some people call it because the word that was spoken was so hurtful, understand? Like very aggressive, very drastic. So most people couldn't actually forget about this and just ask for forgiveness and do all those what they call repentance, 忏悔. Most people cannot. In the mundane mind can. But with the Dhamma is different. From inside it can arise. And this is most beautiful for cultivator. Because I remember when I was young, there was one incident I remember. At that time, I was quite young. I got my youngest brother, that one I told you, almost become very notorious and do a lot of nonsense, and then later on change over because he somehow got the affinity and he consulted me, and I went back and advised him, talked to him. Then he changed. But my father liked him a lot because he is the youngest. Pamper him a lot. So what happened was, when I was, I think in Form 1, 1967, there was a commotion. My this younger brother, he got entangled with one family who also got a lot of brothers and sisters, and they are quite actually violent. So what happened was, he actually fought with one of the brothers, although he is the youngest of the other family, but much older than my youngest brother. Where my youngest brother is very young at that time, I think 4 years old. So what happened was, he kena bully. Then I also didn't know what happened. Then somehow somebody came and reported to my father. So my father went there, and I also went there. Then my father tried to, of course, tell that guy, this is my son, how can you do that? And you know what happened? His elder brother, they all come out. Want to whack my father. And so violent, until my father was so angry. He went back to the shop. He took the chopper. Want to come out out of anger. I witnessed all this. I said, this is crazy. I said, then of course we told our father we cannot. But that fellow is so young, and my father at that time not that young already. Now maybe 40 years old, and that guy is still in the 20s or that means no fight one. If my father go, I tell you, finish. So what happened was, after we persuaded her, and that time my mind very strong. You know what I did? I make an aditan. I vow I will take revenge when I grow up, when I have the means and all those things. This type of thought went in. And until today, I can still recall and remember. But after 1989, you know what happened? After I understood all this, I just laughed at it. Because all these are the conditions that surface, and a human being, when affected by all this, they, through their willpower, they make that aditan. They don't know it's aditan. You all call chiu chua in Hokkien. In Cantonese is what? Phật sai lah, chiu chua lah. Means you determine, you aditan to actually do something. And that one very strong. It go into your will. This is what the Buddha called the 37 factor of enlightenment. The first 4. What is the Pali word already?
Idipada.
Sadhu, thank you. Idipada, thank you. So under that one, there is this passion, chanda. Then you have the second one, which is willpower, chitta. Then there's another one, what they call already.
Viriya and Vimangsa.
Virya and Vimangsa. Vimangsa is the investigative part one. So that willpower is what the normal non-cultivator of the way use, and that one is considered as a factor of enlightenment. If you use it to aditan for spiritual thing, it's a factor of enlightenment, your willpower. But it so happened at that time, because I haven't connected yet, and I don't know what this thing is all about. That's why, in order to be fair to my father, because how can a young guy in the 20s, early 20s, or maybe less than 20, 18, 19, do this to my father, no? Understand? And if you talk about reasoning and all those things, my younger brother is so much younger than him, no? And he cannot bully like that, and my father go and just like want to reprimand now. They actually want to whack my father, no? Until my father really so angry because he loved that my youngest brother so much. So this is what will happen actually. So what Alicia go through is the same. Yeah. But if you have good karma, you don't worry on it. I got one case. My eldest brother, the wife. Actually, one of their daughter also, due to misunderstanding, because the grandmother, my eldest brother, this daughter, he was raised up most of the time by the grandmother. Then they wanted to like arrange for the grandmother to stay in the old folks' home. She objected so strongly and become so angry. I say a lot of those words like Alicia get out from the mother or no. But that one is the Pali. The daughter whacked my sister-in-law. Until for 20 over years they didn't talk. No. Didn't want to see each other. But then the good karma, suddenly, end of last year, the daughter called the mother, apologized, and weep on the phone. Then my brother came down, told me, I said, count him already. Wow, they were so happy after that. Because that daughter now got 4 children now. Most of them graduated already, one still in college, I think. And they were so beautiful kids. They said the kid want to get to know their akong ama. So that's how the mother got no choice and knew that what she did was wrong. Understand? Because actually it was good intent. Because nobody want to look after the mother. And she also, although she got so angry, but she also don't have the time to look after her. And finally, because of that misunderstanding, I think my sister-in-law just like make that determination. Okay, you like that? Like I lost my daughter. Then don't want to have anything to do with the family. No. Even the son-in-law. And like I say, if you got good karma, what happens is it will get resolved by itself. Then when they call up my sister-in-law and everything resolved amicably, they were full of joy. I can see the joy in my brother, in my sister-in-law. And when they came and visit me, actually I also quite close to the son-in-law. Because last time when he came down to PJ to help to do the battery distribution thing and all that, he actually helped me to replace my car battery. And he's a very nice guy, but very good husband, very caring and provide for the family. That's why everything will fall into place and get resolved. So don't have to worry. Like Alicia's case also same. Then after that, when this one gone, the relationship become even better than before it happened. So this is what Dhamma is capable of. When you have the Dhamma, the understanding, you have the parami, all this will fall back into place. Because my sister-in-law and my brother don't deserve this type of what they call entanglement or misery. It's only that period of separation. Of course, sometimes the thought will come back and all that, but they didn't suffer. They just like accept the reality, and if that is the case, then let it be lah. Because the daughter was so hard-headed and say all those things. That is what humanity is all about. So when you don't understand, all this got is coming up. But luckily that case, it was not severe because the parents were not really hurt or harmed or what. It's only during that period when they argue, of course, inside Bosong. And I also don't know until I went back for Chinese New Year. Then I remember we didn't see that daughter coming. Every year also they come. And for the last 20 years. Last time Sui, they all young at the time, they also know that they visit. But after that period, didn't come out. Then recently, everything fall back into place. So this is what I want you to develop as understanding Dhamma in daily life. Okay? You want to nominate somebody, Alicia? Song finish 了 Song 应该还有啊 Song 他讲还有很多讲一点点
Anyway 那我就 continue 吧Actually Bradil 当下那个 mundane mind 会想着为什么自己的妈妈能够讲出这么好像被诅咒的话
That is one reason
like
不
是应该妈妈爱女儿的吗 You know all the delusion
all the type of thought will arise 哪里有人家的妈妈这样的 You will come up with all this justification or no reasoning what they call analysis and try to justify but actually these are mundane activity Sabbe Sankara Anicang, Sabbe Sankara Dukkang, Sabbe Dhamma Anatteto. Actually, no reality. 一切有为法，如梦幻泡影，如露亦如电，应作如是观。No reality on. As real it can be is only the moment. And how stable is the moment? Split second is the angle, and that is the only reality in life. No? So how real can life be? So all this is when you hold on to memory, when you accumulate into memory. That's why kuji. Accumulation is a cause of suffering. That's why when we accumulate through anger, through hatred, through delusion, through lack of understanding, all this will happen. Then that willpower, that enlightenment factor, you use it wrongly. That's why it becomes willpower for ordinary human being. So all these are within the Theravada tradition's teaching, and you can understand them. Very good, 很好。
Yeah, Bradil, actually, 我们很幸运啦，因为现在跟着 Bradil 的 class， 然后我们可以学习到很多的在生活里面。
对，
有时候你看到那个人，或者你听到某些人在 over 那个 conversation， 或者在谈天的时候，或者那个人对你讲一句话的时候，你不会太过的执着，或者所谓的认真去抓回来，然后带回家再去想不要了，因为他当下的mindset他就讲那个话，对，所以你就
they are just the way they are，
所以你就不会这样多的烦恼。对我来说这个是非常重要，而且很感恩。还有就是最近我很久也没有做我的功课，所以那天after 我的 sharing， 我也再去 reflect 回去那个 Surangama 的那个文，所谓的听，因为在过年的那段日子里面，我有听到我儿子讲某一些话，我被 stir， 所以当我读到那个 Surangama Sutta 的时候，我哭了起来，因为我原来这样的被他抓进去，所以我是非常的感恩。然后那天我就在佛菩萨面前，我就重新的发愿，叫他们protect 我，然后给我机会再走下去，慢慢学习。所以可能这个就是因为这个 Virya suddenly 起来，然后他就 manifest 那个今天早上那个经历，所以在这里我想鼓励大家把那个 Virya 拉出来，然后继续勇往直前，我们一起成佛，感恩大家。
Let us rejoice. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, very good.
Brazil and all Kalamitas. Today I saw your reply on the one of the viewers was very good.
Read it out. Very good. That one very good.
There are two parts, you see. Okay, the questions he first asked was that referring to the video minutes 25 to 26. That was like, sorry. The The first one was that all inquiry arise. No. Okay. That was referring to the consciousness, the video. See? Does it mean
awareness and consciousness?
Yeah. Does it mean the mundane mind is active all along, even in the state of no thought? Isn't inquiry also part of thinking process? And the second message he wrote was that in the second video, Brother Teo advised during meditation, don't think, don't try to know, just be aware, but later told to also contemplate. Got confusions here. How to differentiate between thinking versus contemplate? Please elaborate. Thank you. And your reply was, yes, the mundane mind is very near the true mind, pure awareness nature, because thought or thinking is a product of awareness. This is why awareness can see thought, but thought cannot see awareness. Inquiry is not active, normal, heedless thinking. It arises from a creative, quiet mind. Hope this helped. And your second message was, the moment thought arises, you are already lost in thought, preoccupied with your thinking, your emotions, etc. So how can you be aware? That's why don't think and don't try to know, because the trying to think and know is always by thought. When thought is active, you cannot be aware. Active thinking is without awareness, whereas to contemplate, one needs a clear mind in creativity. You must have an inquiry for you to contemplate on, with a relative more quiet and creative mind, which is not lost in thought.
Yeah.
Hope this helped.
Sadhu. So this one, I think by now most Kalimita will have understood. Because when you develop this awareness and stabilize the awareness nature, then you know that nature is just the awareness nature, is not a being, understand? No thought, no duality, nothing. It's just an awareness nature before the knowing. But the knowing manifests from there very fast. So his question is it the thinking mind or mundane mind is all along there? It's not all along there, because you don't know how to stabilize the awareness. You cannot be with the awareness. That's the thought keep on coming out. That's why most human beings, they only know they have one mind, the thinking mind, the mundane mind. That's why they cannot understand all this. Then when I say don't try to know, don't try to think, or don't try to do, means what? Don't create any more thought, understand? Well, who try to know? The trying is by the thought, understand? The doing, the meditator, is also the thought. Well, inside there you try to meditate. And who try? The thought try. So all this create thinking, understand? So when you are having this thought, it's like verbalizing inside, understand? Then this mind, the thinking mind that create this verbalization and thought process, will be lost in thought, where you are no longer aware. You can only do one thing at a time. Either you are completely attentive or aware and listen or observe, silent, or you are lost in thought, means preoccupied with what you are thinking and your reaction to what you think, what you see, what you perceive through your senses, that create more of this agitation and the thought process. So knowing that you can only do one thing at a time, unless you stop all the thinking, then you maintain the awareness to be aware, to see things as they are, to be in the state of complete stillness, awareness. The awareness, no need to know. The awareness develop the specific phenomenal awareness or spatial awareness to develop the wisdom and the understanding. But through observing, we are the silent mind. You will understand what. That's why Krishnamurti defined awareness very well. He said, sati or mindfulness is actually the choiceless awareness of what is. When you are able to be in that state, without choice, aware of what is, that is what sati is, awareness is. So knowing that means that silent mind must not come out with your views, opinion, conditioning, and belief system from the thought process. And this person who asked the question is good. He wants to understand, but he hasn't realized the stability or awareness. That's why he cannot understand. That's why he keep on asking all these questions. But he cannot differentiate between the two minds. So what I try to help him is to slowly bring him to the understanding. I say it's very near the awareness nature, but he hasn't realized the awareness nature. That's why he will have to go and find out and investigate. Then the confusion about contemplation, inquiry, and thinking is actually not a serious thing. Once you have the awareness, then you will know how to contemplate and reflect. Because you need something to reflect on, understand, or contemplate on. That's why I call it an inquiry. Just like the second turning. Why did the Buddha say birth is suffering? Understand? Why did the Buddha say all this first noble truth, eight reality, dukkha, is to be understood? How can I understand? So these are the pointer, or what we call the Gong An, or things that trigger of contemplation. Means you don't think now. That inquiry set your mind to develop the inquiry or contemplative wisdom, or the inquiry to develop the understanding. We are silencing your mind to reflect. Means, why did the Buddha say this? After that, no more thinking already. Because that sentence, birth is suffering. Then you will recollect through your contemplative awareness, the mind that is more calm, more creative, silent. Then it will give rise to all the recollection of the birth process. Then you suddenly, because it's slow, through the creative nature, you will suddenly catch it up. Oh, no wonder birth is suffering. Where you recollect, if you are a lady, you go through the birth process. When you recollect, you will actually understand. Then even as a husband or you live life long enough, you must have witnessed many things. Then when things don't go your way, when there is complication at birth, there can be suffering. I mean, then the morning sickness, all this. That's why when you reflect and contemplate, then you realize, hey, birth is not just the joy, looking forward to the, what they call, celebration, full moon, and having kids, becoming parents or grandparents or what. This is all the beautiful side of birth. But what happens when things don't go your way? The other aspect, the duality, can also manifest, and it can be very traumatic when there is complication at birth. So these are the one that trigger of contemplative wisdom, reflection. Then when you reflect, you don't think on that thing will surface on, where you will recollect the birth process or the life process. Then as you recollect, you are mindful, aware of all this happening. And then you can link to what happened at that time. But when you are living life, like I mentioned, when you are in the phenomenal world of consciousness, caught in the midst of life, your desire is what? Oh, my wife is expecting. I'm going to be the father now. Oh, looking forward to the newborn baby, the full moon. Yes, it's full of all those things. So much so, you miss out on life. You don't develop the awareness of the whole process already. That's why you cannot learn one. To learn, you must reflect, contemplate, and through the awareness nature, the tranquil, what they call creative nature, it will slowly develop. Because you recollect through awareness. Then when you reach that particular point, the answer will come. It will give rise to an answer. And that is what I want him to learn. So a lot of cultivators of the way, they are very confused by this part. For me, naturally, I know how to contemplate on. I know how to reflect on. That's why the second turning wisdom to me is automatic. Before anybody told me it's second turning, I was doing it a lot already. Well, when I met this teacher Ajayendra, he reminded me no less than 6 times. We choose contemplate until very, very clear. He keep on reminding me. Then I met a lot of monks also tell me to contemplate. At those 1 or 2 years, very funny. 87, 88, and 80. Before 89, 87 and 88. I met a lot of monks and cultivators. But the most obvious one is from Ajayendra. Okay, we better end. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay. Then we will do the sharing of merit, transfer of merit. Then we end. Akasata cha bhumata deva naga mahindika punyang tang anumoditwa jirang rakantu lokasasana ittavata jamehi sampadan punya sampadan sabbe deva anumodantu sappati siddhya idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang menya tinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo imina teyo asatu kalena sasa sampati hetu cha Vito bhavatu loko cha raja bhavatu dhamiko imina punyang kamena mame bala samagamo satang samagamo hotu yawa nivana patiya sadhu sadhu sadhu. Okay, you can pay respect to Lord Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva, and all the worthy ones. Then we end the whole Zoom session. Sadhu.